Amid many updates from councillors about upcoming events and initiatives, the most notable item on the agenda was the resignation of Councillor Lisa Pottinger. Councillor Daryl Gerard thanked Pottinger for her years of service to the town, both during this term as well as an earlier stint when she served as deputy mayor and briefly as mayor. A by-election has been called for July 16th, 2025, and candidate registrations must be received by June 10th. The next Manitoba municipal elections will take place in October of 2026.
The last thing under new business is on April 22nd, following the council meeting, I received the resignation of Lisa Pottinger as councillor for the town of Neepawa. So because our meeting was closed that day, the municipal access, when I'm given those resignations, I will bring it at the next meeting of council for your awareness. So basically I did up a resolution like we've done in the past when by-elections were required, that basically you're allowing me as a senior election official to hold a municipal election as soon as reasonably possible.
Okay, any questions?
I'd just like to make a comment and thank Councillor Pottinger, provided fabulous input and participated in so much of the council functions. Second go around on council, and she was time as previously to this council, has spent time as mayor as well, and just want to thank her for her service. You're going to be missed, that seat that you missed being empty, but I hope people start thinking of preparing themselves for there's an opportunity to become active in a community that is growing, expanding. There's so much planning that needs to take place. It's a phenomenal time to be involved in Neepawa Town Council.
Yeah, well, those are great comments, Daryl. And you're right, Lisa has done a tremendous job, worked with it. You know, we have a real team here, and that's not always easy to achieve. And she has provided great information and has been a real team player, and that's we really appreciated that, and she will be missed. So. Sure. Okay, whereas on April 22nd, 2025, the CAO received the resignation of Lisa Pottinger as councillor for the town of Neepawa. Therefore be resolved that in compliance with the Municipal Act, the senior election official for the town of Neepawa prepared to hold a by-election to fill the vacancy as soon as reasonably possible. Moved by Deputy Mayor Parrott, seconded by Councillor Gerard. All in favor? Opposed? Carried.
In council reports, Councillor Yvonne Sisley summarized a recent recreation and economic development meeting, which included dates for several upcoming events, including the Chamber of Commerce Fair, which is May 23rd to 25th, the Spring Fever Bike Races, May 25th at the Bike Park, a Cybersecurity Information Session, which is on May 27th at Arts Forward, a babysitting course on June 27th, and there will be outdoor activities throughout June for Participation Month. So you'll need to keep an eye on social media for details about those. She also reported that the Economic Development Office has received a grant to produce a Newtown video. And as well, they'll be holding a series of home ownership workshops to help residents understand the ins and outs of home ownership. These will also be filmed by NACTV to allow access to a greater audience. Councillor Jason Nadeau attended meetings for the local Library Board Advisory Committee, which is recruiting 1 to 2 new members, and the board of the Yellowhead Centre, which is planning the coming year and looking at local fundraising efforts. Deputy Mayor Murray Parrott reported that Public Works has upped their meetings to twice a month due to the high volume of projects, and as well is seeking out contractors who might be interested in projects to meet Neepawa's housing needs.
So April 29th, we had a Recreation Economic Development Committee meeting. The updates from Recreation and Day Camp released their weekly themes. They have their return staff from last year are already preparing and organizing for the summer season. Spring Fever Bike Race is scheduled for May 25th at the High Life Back 40 Park. There'll be a barbecue available for racers and spectators, and Neepawa Tourism will have a booth on site there. The Silver Club Initiative, May 27th, will be a cyber security session at 9:30 a.m. at Arts Forward. The session will focus on online safety and scam awareness, so you can register with Cass at the town office for that one. There'll be a babysitter's course set for June 27th. And for Participation Month in June, there'll be outdoor activities planned throughout June featuring local instructors and showcasing Neepawa's recreation spaces. So just keep an eye on the Town of Neepawa social media and the rec website for the activities for that. Economic development updates, we received the Can Export grant, and that funding will support the development of a new economic development video and business retention and expansion program to support our local businesses. The Chamber Fair is happening May 23rd to 25th. Volunteers are welcome. If you're wanting to volunteer for that, you can contact Jen at the Chamber office. Neepawa Tourism has an initiative with Travel Manitoba. It's a stay and play package that will be coming out. It's to promote summer tourism in Neepawa. It's a strong initiative from our tourism committee, and I think it'll go over really well. They had one last year that got quite a bit of interaction, and the people came to town for the weekend and really enjoyed Neepawa with that one. So, and our EDO Maryland crew is working on a home ownership workshop series. It looks very interesting. The series itself is going to help residents understand the ins and outs and the process for home ownership. Banking, working with contractors, realtors, building requirements, and more. It looks like a really good setup, and I think that will be, when it's all said and done, will be filled with MEC TV so that everybody can have access to that. So.
Okay. Councillor Lisa.
Yeah, just a couple short reports. So we had a local library board meeting and we have a poster here, so we're looking for you. If you're interested in joining your library board, please contact the Neepawa Library Board and let us know, because we'd love to have you join the local advisory committee to help guide our library on what types of events we should have and what resources our library should look at getting. So that's something that we're really seeking. I know we have one or two people that are possibly interested, but we'd like to get more people involved, and that's part of our goal, is to get more and more people. Also at our meeting, we have our new door counters in, which you might have heard about, and just out of curiosity, if council was curious, we thought on a good day we would get about 120 people passing through. Well, with our new door counters, that's with us manually checking it. Our door counters told us that on Mondays and Fridays are our most busiest days, we're getting about 170. So huge traffic numbers, which is nice to see with our library. That's when it's the busiest. So those are some things that we were really looking at and talking about as we continue to work on our little policy for our committee. Also, I went to, just last night actually, I went on May 5th, I went to the Yellowhead board meeting, and we're doing a lot there at the Yellowhead there. I'm just sharing some information. It's really looking good, like we're planning for the next year already, and we're really trying to look at how can we make some funds locally with some fundraising efforts on the Yellowhead's part, and I think that's really nice to see that our local hall and arena is really starting to, we're seeing a lot of gelling right now with our board, which is really good because we're getting a lot done. And really good meeting, so I just wanted to share that with you.
Perfect. Okay, anyone else? Deputy Mayor Parrott.
Okay, so I guess first of all, we've increased the number of public works meetings we're having to twice monthly now because we do have so much going on. There's going to be a lot of pipe laid this summer. Been approaching contractors to make them aware of a lot of people who are in need of housing and sharing floor plans, trying to line people up. Ours Forward is looking, I'm hoping that people in the community will choose to donate money to Arts Forward to continue, help them continue the culture and diverse programs that they have going on. I just lost the one that was on here. There we go. And because they do cover a wide range of activities in town, and it'll help them keep their cash flow going. And with a specific event coming this Mother's Day, At 2:30, there's a whiteout party, adults $20, $10 for kids. And I imagine the food is free. Food is free, so you can eat. And at the last whiteout party, they actually had 3 people come all the way from Harrison. That would be a good thing to attend. And the Arts Board is a good thing to become part of as a citizen of the community with your donations.
Manager of Operations Denise Sakay gave Council a rundown of some of the current projects, including the resumption of work on the storm sewers at the new hospital site and earthwork in the neighboring industrial park. Some of that topsoil is headed to remediate the area around the museum, where they previously had stripped some of the contaminated ground that remained from when it was adjacent to a rail yard. The asphalt patcher has arrived in town, and if you haven't already seen it on the streets patching some of our many potholes, you will soon. Town staff have removed some diseased or obstructing trees along Main Street, with a replacement plan in place to replant the area at a later date. Finally, Sakay was pleased to report that summer staff, including Green Team members, have started work around town.
Thank you, Mayor Headley. So if we look at the hospital site, our contractor has moved back on site to start working on the storm sewers again, and we'll continue that work. We've been doing some earthwork on the industrial park, just kind of leveling off some of the cut material we hauled, and hauling some of the topsoil off that industrial site again, just to kind of remediate one of those projects at the museum where we'd stripped some just unsuitable ground cover material there. It's going to be full of rail ballast and spent coal, stuff like that. Isabel Street, we have the dozer there as well, doing some land leveling in preparation of hydro showing on site, and also the surveyors. So everything is moving along nicely there. And staff picked up the asphalt patcher on Monday. I don't know if they've really had a chance to use it yet, but we've got that in stock now with all materials required to start pothole filling. We performed some tree removals on Main Street. They were deemed undesirable or sickly with a replacement plan in play, so that once those are fully removed and stumps ground out and our new ones arrive this spring summer, we'll replant the trees that were removed to something that is not going to be disease or rot as the ones we have right now. We have staff training on tomorrow for a good chunk of them, and then our summer staff also started on Monday. So we've been going through a rigorous town cleaning and trying to pick up as much litter as possible as our standard policy for new students. And then we'll get the town cleaned up. Looking good again.
Perfect. Okay, any questions for me?
I'll just comment on that. You know, we see now that we've got our summer students here to start, our green team here to get involved in cleanup. I'd just like to remind our citizens, you know, even though it's not your garbage, it is your town, and there's nothing preventing you if you want to pick up a bag and do that. I mean, I've walked around now through many of the different parks. You can't blame it all on kids. I mean, I've picked up packages of hearing aid batteries that are empty, so I know that eliminates a certain demographic as well. So, like I said, just because it's not your garbage, it doesn't mean this isn't your town. I mean, we always appreciate the help, and if we free up Green Team on projects like that, they can do a lot more around the community if we all chip in.
Yeah, great comment.
Those are great comments, Councillor Jordan. We do get service groups to come in and offer their services to help volunteer in some yard cleanup. We also get the odd resident. So by any means, if the resident is unsure of where they can help out, they simply have to call here and we can direct them. Or provide them with some bags, gloves, whatever they may be, or help them with some other stuff.
I've got a quick question about the cold fill that we purchased. So is it like one product that you put in the hole, or is there two that you?
It's a mixing product, so we buy the aggregate stone itself, and then there's emulsion oil, and then the oil is heated, and then they kind of contact point each other in the mixing when they're being sprayed into the hole.
CAO Colleen Sanchishan gave Council a rundown of correspondence, which included approvals from the National Trail Youth Employment Program through the Trans-Canada Trail and the Green Team Program through the province of Manitoba, both for funding of student positions throughout the summer.
First I have from Trans-Canada Trail, we were approved for the National Trail Youth Employment Program as part of the Trail Builders of Tomorrow initiative, and our project is funded to receive a maximum of $7,000. towards staff. That was nice. Next, we have from the Minister of Municipal and Local Relations. We also received our 2025 Urban Hometown Green Team Program funding up to a maximum of $18,408.60. Beautiful Plains Community Foundation Incorporated, they are organizing their annual golf tournament to raise funds for their community endowment fund. Last year, their tournament raised over $12,000 to grow the fund, and it's going to be held Friday, June 20th. And they're inviting the town of Neepawa to become a sponsor or donate a prize for the event. All proceeds will be donated to the Beautiful Plains Community Foundation, a charitable foundation that supports nonprofit and community groups within Neepawa and surrounding communities. So if you've all read that, whether you're interested in sponsoring, there's platinum, gold, bronze, or whatever, or donating prizes. We actually, for the last few years now, donated some prizes, so whatever you think.
I think that's adequate.
Yeah. Similar fashion as we've done previous years. We'll find something, camping or swimming or something, or. Then we have from the Beautiful Plains County Court Building. This is just to go on record that you've received the financial statements for the year December 31st, 2024, unless there's questions. Seeing none. And then I have from the Western Manitoba Regional Library, I also have their financial statements for the year ended December 31st, 2024.
Centurion also had to make a bit of an amendment to the anticipated bylaw agenda item. Because the municipal board has not yet approved the garbage bylaw, which is a special levy, second and third reading of both the tax levy bylaw and the garbage bylaw have been postponed to the next meeting or the first meeting after that approval is received. As the deadline for these bylaws to be filed is May 15th, Council needs to request an extension as per the Municipal Act. Further to the tax levy bylaw, Councillor Gerard made a special note to ratepayers to clarify some of the information coming from the financial plan. While Neepawa is seeing an average increase in overall assessment of 7%, that does not mean that each individual's assessment will increase by that much. That increase is largely due to new construction and new properties contributing to the assessment, and not an increase in each individual assessment.
So you're probably going to notice that I've been building the agenda. I have the tax levy bylaw on there for second and third reading, and I also have the garbage and recycling bylaw on for second and third reading. Because our garbage bylaw had to go to the municipal board for their approval because it's a special levy, because we have not received their official approval yet, it's just at the board now, it's been sent it away 2 months ago. We cannot give second and third reading to either bylaw. So I removed those off your agenda, as you'll notice. You now have in its replacement, under the authority of the Municipal Act, we have to request an extension, because what happens now, because our next meeting is not till the 20th, those items have to be cleared and filed by May 15th. So this is asking for the request to extend for the meeting immediately after we get the board's approval, which hopefully will be the 20th.
Okay, everybody understands? Okay, resolution reads, whereas section 162 of the Municipal Act requires a copy of the financial plan of the municipality to be filed with the minister by May 15th in each year, and whereas section 304 of the Municipal Act requires a municipality to pass a tax levy bylaw no later than May 15th of each year, and whereas the ability to proceed with concluding the financial documents for the town of Neepawa is contingent on obtaining the approval of the municipal board to raise the revenues required for the collection and disposal of solid waste and recycling as a special service under bylaw number 3235-25. Therefore, be it resolved that in accordance with section 162 of the Municipal Act, the Council for the Town of Neepawa hereby requests that filing deadline be extended to reflect the first available meeting after receiving notice and the approval of bylaw 3235-25 from the Municipal Board. Moved by Deputy Mayor Parrott, seconded Councillor Sisley. All in favor? Opposed?
I would just like to make some follow-up comments, just regarding after we passed, I know it's after we just extended our process to getting our budget and our tax extended to the following week, but I would just like to make some following comments regarding when we passed the first regarding our ability to tax and with the upcoming town budget. I have received some comments from different people through the community. It comes back to somewhat of how the presentation was laid out regarding the budget. And I just want to make it clear that in the last budget council, or in this current budget that's proposed and will be finalized on the 20th, that the mill rate was frozen in that budget. And that was on the basis of a 7% increase of assessment in the community. And I think in talking to some different ratepayers around the community, a 7% increase in assessment doesn't mean individuals had a 7% increase in assessment on properties. A 7% increase in assessment for the community is also the result of new construction, as in new ratepayers that have come into the community as well. And I can give you several examples, whether we're talking the new apartment buildings that have occurred just up on Hamilton, and we take a look at the new drugstore. We can take a look at the new gym. All of these are new properties that are now contributing to assessment. So when we say that there was a 7% increase in assessment, no, that does not mean that individuals see a 7% increase in assessment on their properties. That is an overall increase of revenues that have happened within the community. You will see in the coming months as you get your assessment on properties, and we see how mill rate affects, and then again with the new levy that comes from the province, or I should say the credit for the school tax. There are going to be some adjustments to individual income taxes and some of the business and commercial taxes in the community. But to say that there's a flat 7% increase of assessment across the board, and I think that was one area where one of the slides in that presentation probably didn't explain that very well.
It's on average.
Yeah, that 7% is an overall growth in revenue. It's not an indication of what happens to individuals and individual properties. And I just thought I'd provide some clarification to that, because we have seen there will be certain ratepayers in some examples that will see how that new school tax credit applies. They may actually see somewhat of a reduction on some of their overall property tax bills. So I thought I would pass that along. The 7% increase is because Neepawa is booming and growing, not necessarily because of individual personal assessment.
Yeah. No, those are good comments. The system is a bit confusing in that, and even myself coming in almost 7 years ago, it takes quite a while, even when you're sitting in these chairs, to understand how the whole system works. So I think that's as good an explanation as anybody's going to get. So thanks.
Finally, as a requirement of creating the subdivision for Phase 1 of Project 320, Council needs to conduct a transportation impact study. After putting out a request for tenders, they have selected More Transportation Consulting to carry out the work at a cost of just under $20,000.
Project 320.
So as everybody is aware, we would like to proceed with an application for subdivision for 58 acres known as Project 320 Phase 1. This particular item on there will be a requirement once the subdivision is filed of the Department of Management, Transportation and Infrastructure. So we want to get ahead on that. So we've received 4 bids to do a traffic impact study, which we've already been told verbally by the department would be required. And we're recommending of the 4 low bid of More Transportation Consulting, $19,500.
Okay, any questions? Be it resolved that we accept the proposal of More Transportation Consulting to complete a traffic impact study for the town's proposed Phase 1 residential subdivision for project 320 at a cost of $19,500 plus GST. Moved by Councillor Nadeau, seconded by Councillor Sisley. All in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Also covered were an application to the Storefront Improvement Program, a funding appeal from Arts Forward, an update from the Rossburn Subdivision Trail Association, the purchase of a replacement 2-ton truck, and the regular financial report. You can view end-to-end coverage of the council meeting elsewhere in the NETV schedule or on our YouTube channel. If you have any comments or questions about these items or other topics related to the municipal government, please contact us at 204-476-2639 or by email at nectvnews@gmail.com. Thanks for joining me, and I hope to see you next time.